Hey guys, hey fam, hi lovers, hi niggas, hi chicos. It's still Christmas and I have high energy. Welcome back to our channel. It is your favorite couple. I am Karis and he is Dexter, and together we are K and Dex. And you're welcome to today's video. So in today's episode, it's still a marriage series.
But wait, the vlogmas is still smelling pepper.
Yes.
Smelling pepper. In spite of internet issues, in spite of time issues, in spite of busy schedules, this vlogmas smell pepper.
Hallelujah.
Okay,
so moving on. Do well to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share our videos. See those who comment, and we see those who give this video a thumbs up. God bless you. I really appreciate you. And we hope you're enjoying your festive season, right? Okay, so in today's series, it is communication in marriages and relationships. So it's going to be, we are praying that it will be a short video. You know, as when we start to talk, we forget every time.
But the problem is that communication is not something you can do in a 10 minutes or 5 minutes talk. So, I don't know.
We'll try and compress some things. But a follow-up to this video will be how to resolve conflict in marriages and relationships. So let's just get right into the video.
Don't forget, you're supposed to subscribe, like this video, share. I mean, let us understand you in the comment section.
Yeah.
You see, I love seeing comments. I love it.
And we love to reply them. You know
that. So let's get into the video.
Okay. So there's one thing we want to say before we go on. Most relationships and marriages that are breaking down, about 88% of it, is because communication is not up there. Right? So if your relationship will go well, it depends on how the two of you send information to each other. So what is communication?
This is actually what you just said is actually statistics, right? Communication is, I don't know how to just explain the word without using the word communication in it.
Okay.
But it's like you have a message, you want to send it to somebody. The medium you choose, there are various mediums through which you can send that message, and you choose one medium and send the message across, and the person that you are sending the message to has to receive the message and actually understand it for the cycle to be complete
and give you feedback.
Yeah.
So if you communicate and you don't get feedback, Judge, I'm coming, okay?
The cycle is not complete.
It's not complete.
The cycle is not complete. So it's you have a message, you send the message by there are various mediums by which you can send a message, but you choose any one of them or any combination. You send that message. The receiver has to receive the message in the first place, has to have an understanding of the message you have sent, and then feedback.
Yeah. So one thing we shouldn't forget is that communication is the blood of every relationship. So you can't be in a relationship and not communicate.
It
doesn't make sense.
You need deliverance.
Yes,
come, we have service.
So it is the blood of every relationship, and if you want your relationship to go well, do well to communicate every now and then. Communicate about every little thing. Give every little detail. Don't forget to do that. Okay. So what we can say is that communication is a skill we learn. So as you are growing up with your parents, even how to tell them to give you money for something is through communication. But it's not a skill that we learn and end today. JJ, stop that. It's a skill that you learn and you build upon, so that it makes you a better person in your marriage.
Not just in your marriage. Actually, communication goes everywhere. In business, you need to communicate. In life, in your church, in your religious life, even prayer is communication with God. So I mean, you don't know. Okay,
so let's talk about some of the communication channels we can use.
Okay, before that, we can say that the communication can have verbal and non-verbal communications. Okay, so the verbal communication is the ones that you need to speak actually.
Angie, Why? What do you mean? Okay. Sorry for the distraction, yeah?
Oh, hello. So yeah, communication, there are two ways. So the verbal and the non-verbal. Verbal has to do with speaking, and then the non-verbal is the ones that you don't add a voice to it. Maybe you are writing a text, you are giving eye signals, you are giving I've put some symbols somewhere. You have communicated volumes. Okay. Sometimes I don't know if your childhood you had that kind of issue where somebody was going to give you something, and then you are looking at your mother for the mother to give approval. The eye that she will look at you with will tell you that if you take this thing, you are in trouble.
Yeah. So when we're getting married, our counselor made us do this test, and it was LOVISNOWHER.
Actually, so he spelled the letters. He just gave us the letters. It says write it down.
LOVISNOWHERA. And he asked that I write what I see down, like I interpreted it how I see it. And then he also does same. And I remember I wrote, love is now here. And he says that love is nowhere.
Mm-hmm. But we all had the same text. We all had the same combination of letters. But what we saw, what we read from it, our perspective was different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was seeing love is now here, and he was seeing love is nowhere. Right? So, I don't know. If you are communicating to someone, make sure you are communicating in a language very simple that the person can understand. So if I'm communicating to him and I say it in such a way that he can't decode my message, then we haven't communicated.
Wait.
JJ, what's the problem?
Don't do that.
Then we haven't communicated, right? So make sure you communicate in a very simple. What do you want, JJ? Make sure you communicate in a very, very simple term that each and everyone can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you see, in just the same words we had, he had a different perspective, I had a different perspective. So if it was Ntokwa and Kiako, because I'm seeing from a different perspective, that is why communication is very, very important. So now that I'm seeing love is now here, what do you want the book for? Now that I'm seeing love is now here, and he is seeing love is nowhere, he has to tell me where he stands and where I stand. You get it? To be able to understand each other.
That is why we initially said that the communication cycle is not complete when the person does not understand the message. And then the understanding we are talking about here is the input of the sender. If I sent you a message and the way I want you to understand it is in my head, but the way you understand it, if you interpret it differently, you have disturbed me. Because supposing I told you, go and heat the soup, right? But maybe I'm a gammon, so I said, eat the soup. And then you went to eat it. We have a problem.
Because you said I should go and eat the food.
Exactly, but in my mind, in my heart, I was saying heat the soup, but I have a language deficiency or Metiefaso and a Bibisunti. I couldn't pronounce the H, and now you have gone to mess me up. As I said, so the understanding has to be complete for the whole cycle to be complete.
Yeah.
Actually, that is why if somebody sends you a message and you don't get it clearly, you really need to get clarification. You really need to get clarification.
Okay. So let's give you a practical something. I remember when we were dating, we went to the gym together, and one of the gym instructors, the ladies there, did something, and I saw it differently, and I thought he wasn't considerate with me. But later, after talking about it, I realized that where he was standing, he meant no harm. If we had not communicated and I had kept everything in my heart, I would be bitter about him. What do you mean about him? About him. But because we communicated about it, I was able to get him. And even in marriage, communication is very, very essential because, as we said, it is the blood of every relationship. So in our marriage, what I normally do is, whenever I am offended by what he did, it is either I am expressing myself there and then, or holding on for a while before I do so. Right? So if he does something bad, there are days that I need to tell him the truth there and there, so that he can really understand what I am talking about. And there are days that, because hearts are boiling, I don't need to go right there and talk about the issue. And there are days that I was so many some months later or something will surely happen that you can trash it out, because you know that if you bring a conversation up and that conversation is going to destroy your bond or your relationship, why don't you hold on and do it at the appropriate time? You get it? So me, normally that's what I do when I have issues. It's either I'm like dealing with it there and there, or I'm waiting for time to justify whatever happened, or like as time passes we can trash it out. And that time, because I'm not angry, I'll have a listening ear to understand. And one thing you should never forget is, you don't communicate to answer, you communicate to understand. So if I am listening to him, I'm not listening to what he's telling me to reply him, but I'm listening to him to understand his point of view or his perspective. You get it? So if you're someone who is always like in a rush to reply, you realize that you don't have the opportunity. You are always wrong, because you don't get that time to listen to understand the person's point. You are always on the side of defense. You get it? So it is better you listen to understand, and then be reasonable. Don't always feel that since you are the one or you are always right. Just know that sometimes you are wrong, because you are not standing at the same you are not in the same shoes of the person. You are not able to see from where they are seeing. So that's basically it.
Okay. Two elements that virtually will affect your verbal communication. Maybe you are going to discuss an issue, but two things that will really affect the way it comes off is timing and then the tone with which you say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timing, tone, pitch.
Yeah. And then let me also say that some jokes are really expensive. We don't make them at certain places. There was a time I went to a certain rehearsal with some people, and then we started making some jokes about something that happened many months ago between one guy and then the girlfriend. The girlfriend was at the rehearsal, and when we mentioned it almost turned into something else. Like voices started flaring and shit. But here's what's going to happen. You cannot say those things with a certain tone. Maybe you are saying it. You have to be mindful of the time. Maybe you are raising an issue between you and your partner. He did something wrong. Instead of saying, "Now how?" Then I don't know. Yes, it's
much better.
It's much better. Sometimes you can just say, "Oh," and then keep quiet. The person will just appreciate, say, "Oh, this is what happened and I didn't like it." Cool, but you gotta the other person will raise the voice, but before you realize it is chaos.
Like the day he ate my rice.
Chaos.
I couldn't say no, I was only say obey. I said obey, I bet 500,000. Shit, miss that rice in that coming power.
Yeah.
Serious. So no the time. As I said, it's not every day that will be there and then you blast the person. Sometimes you need to allow time. And then the pitch. You see, if you are angry, the person will know from your pitch and your tone. So there are days that you say that, "Oh, na me boom for you," but your tone is showing that you're angry, and you can't massage your tone.
You see, that's the problem with the tone too. And the thing is that when it is coming from you, and then the person is saying, "Oh, you are raising your voice," you won't even say. You'll be like, "Oh, why am I raising my voice?" But meanwhile, how the person is hearing it, you are raising your voice. And that's one thing about tone that I don't get. Often it happens when you are talking, and then you feel that at this time you are being normal, but what you don't know is that you are actually climbing above your normal because you are pissed kakra.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens to
everyone. You realize that who scream you, but because you are pissed, you don't see it that way, and the other person telling you because you are pissed with the person to say obwa on your can obwa because we're on first of phone so too, but you don't know that indeed you're actually screaming, and your pitch should be watched, like especially if the person offends you outside. How you say it, who say what the person said, no, a call, and I say call, and it's not good for you to go and wash your dirty clothes outside. Okay, obi our dirty clothes, so you wash yours in the house, dry it at your balcony. When it gets dry, you pick it up and wear it. That's all. You don't go washing it outside. Okay,
Charlie, you see, right now we said we have done 15 minutes and over. Please, this communication thing, I don't know, we will have to do this one. We barely scratch the surface. We'll have to do a long series on it if we want to actually do it, but because we cannot.
We don't want today's video to be long, so
we cannot.
We'll probably end here, but we'll still do conflict resolutions in marriages and relationships. And if you want us to go in depth into communication, let us know in the comment section. We'll try and do a sit-down video again, and then go into
that one. It will be like lecture notes.
Yeah. We'll go into details, and then that will be it. Please do want to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share. Right now, JJ is actually disturbing us, so we need to end the video. He wants to take the tripod away, and we can allow that. So please, let's do this another time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell him.
They should do it another time. Bye-bye.
Say yes.
Bye-bye.
JJ, say yes.
Yes. Oh, my bye-bye this time. Mwah.